608.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What's happening? This is Kaplan and Crew. It's Monday afternoon. It's rainy. It's cold. It's gray. We're flooded. It's soggy. There's craziness out there. So please slow down, calm down. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios on a Monday afternoon. And if you are watching on YouTube, if you're going to be watching on television tonight, those of you listening on radio and podcast, you can't see it. But dude, I have got a big old grin on my face this afternoon because what I saw on Saturday night with the Chargers up 27-0 over the lowly Jacksonville Jaguars. They're just the little Jacksonville Jaguars. We're the big bad Chargers. We're just in that category of, the Patriots and the Niners and the Bills and the Chiefs, like all the better teams. We can look down on the Jaguars. 27-0. 27-0. You have a quarterback who's thrown 4 picks in the first half, 27-0, even at 27-7 going into halftime. No problem. They've snowballed them. They've avalanched them. There's no chance for Jacksonville unless you know the history of the Charger organization. Unless you truly understand what we all do, which is the curse of Spanos. He will never win. Never. And for everybody that's all of a sudden a little bandwagon fan that's coming at me because I'm a hater, yes, I am a hater. I don't like being a hater. I usually like to say, don't hate, celebrate. But in this one particular instance, I will continue to hate on this team. I know a lot of you guys out there still listen and watch, and you're not haters. You're lovers. That's cool. We can still be friends. But come on. I mean, the pleasure that I experienced on Saturday night watching the Chargers implode. And by the way, I'm getting destroyed on Twitter. 27-0. I'm getting destroyed. Not just by the few Charger fans, but by the people that have jumped on the bandwagon just because they want to see me in agonizing pain if the Chargers continue a playoff run and possibly do something. Dude, I told you guys, I sat there quietly the entire game, took my beat downs. And then at the very end, when the Jaguars pulled off one of the all-time great miracle playoff comebacks in the history of the NFL, that's when I showed back up. I was just waiting for it. Even at 27-0. Realistically, come on, Jacksonville's dead. But they found a way. The Spanos curse lives, and it will with that franchise until they finally sell it and get out of the business. The Spanos curse lives. Good afternoon, everybody. Glad you're with us from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Grande, I know you and I were both enjoying that game very much. And Browner, told you, man, don't be jumping on that bandwagon. They will always, always find a way. And as Alex had pointed out throughout the weeks leading up to the playoffs, the Chargers had really yet to Charger all over themselves. But then they play their starters against the Broncos and one of their top guys gets hurt. Then one of their top defensive stars where all their money is invested just has a complete and utter meltdown on the field. Nice maturity, nice professionalism by Joey Bosa. An offense that scores 27 points in the first half can only score 3 in the second half. But they got the best quarterback. They found a way to do what all of us knew they were fully capable of. The Chargers chargered. They Spanosed all over themselves. And the curse of Spanos lives on. Fellas? Look at this smile.
All right. Listen.
I
was first and foremost, I must address the more important thing that is today.
Mm-hmm.
In honor of Dr. Martin Luther King,
Yes,
I am
sir.
here working today, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because of Dr.
Pretty
Martin
racist
Luther
of
King.
Scott.
I mean, he's gotta revel in his glory. So I appreciate that.
Well,
In honor,
it is funny. It is funny
okay.
because I did. Rachel had said to me, she goes, "Hey, are you guys going to be on the air on Monday?" And I
Yes.
said, "Yes." And she said, "Don't you think you should ask Browner if he would prefer to have the Martin Luther King holiday off?" And I said, "Yes, I did." But then I also knew that this Charger game was going to be the lead story on Monday, regardless of whether they won or lost in dramatic fashion. And even though it would have been a lot easier for me based on the travel that I've just done to take the day off, I figure, hey, you know what? If the NBA is playing a full slate of games today, why shouldn't we?
There is no reason for any. I get that black people or people who assume that this is a day that black people should take off of work. I fly in the face of that because Dr. Martin Luther King basically gave his life for the right for people like me and like Alex and like you, sir, at the bottom of the screen, to have this opportunity to be here, to talk about sports, to work, to have equality. And so for me, it is an honor that he is observed on this day. But it is a far greater honor for me to have the opportunity to do what I do because he gave his life for the opportunity to do so. And so, as I am appreciative of the United States of America, of honoring this day from sea to sea, it is the way that I honor Dr. King is by going to work and not making a fool out of myself. So,
Wait a second. Hold on.
Well,
Hold on.
that's
Yeah, wait a second.
one of
that's
them
yet to
one
that's
of them gonna get
TBD.
violated.
That's
One of them,
TBD.
Right. Because, dude, let me tell you something.
one of them gonna
Everything
get
you
violated today. I'm not gonna lie.
everything you said prior to that last part, which is, I'm honored to go to work and not make a fool of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you said up until then was very heartfelt. I mean, I was bordering on like getting emotional. I wanted to tell you how much I love you, my brother, and that whole deal. But then at the end, when you said, I'm not going to make a fool of myself, at some point today,
It's gonna go south.
it will.
Yeah,
It
It
will.
will.
a lot
And,
happened this weekend.
and
too.
listen,
Too much
A lot of
happened.
takes are gonna come.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Browner, I'm with you. I also will celebrate the holiday and probably make a fool of myself today at some point. But
I got to
dog,
be honest with you guys. I'm not very familiar with the federal holiday calendar.
mhm.
It's rough. Depending on
They,
what
they
state you live in.
they always kind of sneak up on me. The ones where I would give Scott a hard time for making us work
Oh,
on
this
this
would've been
day when
one.
like everybody else in America is off.
Mhm.
My wife, she's off. She's chilling. So I I was with a group of friends on Saturday watching this game, and pretty much all of them had day off. And when it was 27-0, I was like, you know what, guys? I think Monday we should take it off. I really do. I really think that it is a kind of a travesty that we're working on Monday. We gotta, support and whatever with Martin Luther King. But when that game finished the way it did, I was like, you know what? I can't wait to see you guys on Monday. I can't. It's kind of became our,
Oh,
this
man.
show, this audience is like Super Bowl.
Totally.
I think in our industry, a lot of everyone in the world in the country says the day after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday. You
Mhm.
hear that over and over and over, except for people in our industry because that's Super Bowl Monday and everybody wants to talk about. So for us, the three of us, whether Browner is on the right side or not, today is our Super Bowl Monday.
Yeah.
This is the day that we wait for every single year. It just so happened that we got it a week later than normal.
Mhm.
Last year we got the Raiders doing it to the Chargers and the way they did it. And
Chargers
that was
did
a
to
big
himself
Monday.
last year.
And that was a really big Monday for us. And now this one, I think, is an all-time Chargery moment since they left.
Right.
I think if you're ranking the Chargery moments that have happened for this team, how do you not start by blowing the third largest lead in postseason history?
What beats that? What would beat that? Nothing can beat
No.
that. Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
There's nothing that I can think of from the moment they moved to LA and the moment they hired Anthony Lynn and he at the press conference talked about loving San Diego. LA. From that moment until now, we would have to now work backwards in the all-time great Chargery moments since the Chargers have left. Now, by the way, those Chargery moments happen in San Diego too, right? People love to bring up, hey, how could they not fire Brandon Staley? They fired a guy after he went 14-2. How could they not fire this guy? He went 9-8, had a
the same
27-point lead.
The same people, by the way. There are no excuses. They fired a 14-2 coach. The same people did.
Yeah.
The same people.
My phone, I'm telling you guys right now, as you might imagine, has been nonstop in fuego. And the people who have been texting me or direct messaging me, they range. For example, we sent out our email on Friday, and it was all about, Charger haters, get ready, unite, the whole thing. I received a lot of emails in return from people who actually were like, dude, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. My Facebook timeline is filled with the haters, just so happy that the Spanos has failed again. And then there's a couple that are like, I don't like being a hater, and I'm a fan of the players, and I hate the owner, but that's okay. Look, I'm just telling you right now, it came from everywhere. I had one former Chargers executive texting me during the game, just watching and loving this meltdown. I'm telling you right now, even if you say, I love the team, but I'll never forgive the owner, but I always watched on TV, so it doesn't matter to me that they're there rather than here. Just telling you this right now. This owner, the way he has treated people, the way he has treated former players, greats, all-time greats, the way he has treated this particular city, and the history of his family and the way they have traditionally treated people, there will always be this curse on this franchise so long as the Spanos family owns this football team.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie here. I'm not going to come on this show and lie now. And Dr. Martin Luther King, I'm going to tell the best truth I possibly can. That hurt. As a person who was like ready to gloat, I'm talking about
Did you text us?
I
when
did.
It was
I did. I was ready to come in here Monday or Tuesday, regardless of what the new ruling may have been. I was going to come in here on 5, baby. Super Bowl, here we come. When Dicker missed that field goal, I said, "Oh, that's not good.
That's it.
That's not good." Because the momentum, when he missed that field, the momentum was gone.
But not only that, but think about the storyline of Dicker, Browner. Think about how everybody said they finally got a guy who fixed the problem. In fact, they were telling the story. I can't remember. Like, they called him on a day and he was getting ready to go, I don't know, to work of some kind. I don't know what kind of part-time job or something he had. And they called him and he comes in, and the only field goal he'd missed like the whole year, I think he was like 22 of 23. And I think the only field goal was like 50 plus yards. And so the setup is Dicker has solved the kicking problems that the Chargers have had over the years, going through kickers like they're going through coaches. And when Dicker misses a chip shot field goal, you knew at that moment that they could have gone up 33-20, but it was still 30-20. And then when Jacksonville scored the touchdown and Joey Bosa got another penalty and they decided to move the ball closer rather than say, we'll take it on the kickoff. Once Trevor Lawrence had that 2-point conversion and it became 30-28, but they didn't have the 33-20 lead, 30-28, you went, all they need is a field goal to win this game. And Dicker missed the field goal. All these guys need is a field goal. This game is going to be won by Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a thing of beauty. It was a thing of beauty.
This game has left so many questions that for me to ponder. Like, why did Joey Bosa flip out to that level? 2, why did they not put him back in the game?
Wait, I wonder if Joey Bosa freaked out like that for the same reason that he gets all these injuries. Just
dude, I know it's MLK Day, and I don't want to throw things out there without any proof. Yeah. But
Browner, don't be so surprised. You say that same thing, and I'm watching what I say. You say the same thing about guys like Mike Trout.
Wow.
Hey, Joey Bosa.
You just stay straight up, roid rage.
I mean, my God.
Woo,
I mean, that's what that looked like to me. That looked like rage to me.
That was uncontrollable too, by the way. That was uncontrollable. Like, that guy's a professional athlete. He's been playing football his entire adult life.
He threw his helmet down
twice.
Brandon Staley gave it back to him, and he threw it down.
Brandon Staley was like his little equipment manager, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a guy lose their control like that outside of Antonio Brown doing jumping jacks on this.
What do you guys think?
No. There was Kyle Turley years and years ago.
Worse than that? in that moment?
Well, I mean, he threw somebody else's helmet, and the NFL like put him into anger management.
Right, that's different.
I mean, Aaron Donald, I remember losing his mind one
Ugh.
time. Look at Joey Bosa. We're watching it right now.
But for no reason. Like, he
Just
got a
what
call go against him.
Dude, like, that is the most
Drunk.
selfish nonsense, you know?
Ugh.
I mean, look, dude.
I like him.
I've seen guys act like that at bars before in PB.
I mean, selfish ass nonsense,
he's
unprofessional
He's
crapola.
a captain.
Yeah, man. And I like these players, man. I like Joey Bosa. I really do. But man, that's inexcusable. You can't.
Also, what do you guys think he said to the
Woo.
ref? Because
Colorful.
the way the ref reacted, you're like, okay, I think
Colorful.
Bosa dropped some
Yeah.
derogatory words that may be racial. Honestly, that's like the vibe. I watched that video a million times. I'm not John Boy. I can't do bad lip reading.
Do you
he's
have the
wearing a
video?
helmet.
Do you have it? I'd love to
Yes.
see it again. All right, let's take a
Yes.
look here. This is Bosa, the first penalty, and he feels like he should have gotten a holding penalty. He's saying something to the referee. The referee comes back and says, we're not having that. Oh, really? Okay, gonna say that again? Here you go. And look at the other players. Joey, what the hell, man? What the hell? You know what's so great for Joey? Well, not for Joey Bosa, but there's one play in this game that will go a little unnoticed when people think back to it. They'll talk about Dicker's missed field goal. They'll talk about Bosa losing his mind. But how about the play? I want to say it's on the final drive for Jacksonville, where Trevor Lawrence goes to throw a ball. The linebacker, Kyle Van Noy, jumps up. The ball legitimately hits the guy right square in the chest.
In the hands. No, in the hands.
He literally did
In
a
the
push
diamond.
pass.
Dude,
He's like, I don't want it.
If my man makes that play,
It's over.
game, set, match. They missed the field goal when the guy never misses. They scored 3 points in the second half when they had a 27-7 lead at halftime and a 27-0 lead prior to that. Their defensive captain can't control his emotions and gets penalized twice for it. And then a guy gets a ball thrown to him, a gift, and he drops it. Now, if you tell me, now look, I'm not a big superstition curse guy, okay? I generally don't even like those sorts of things. But if you don't think that there's something in this universe that always wants to see the Chargers find a way to listen, go back to Marlon McCree. Those of us, we all remember Marlon McCree, and there's other examples along the way. But how could that happen in that moment? Oh man, Kyle Van Noy, my man, catch the freaking ball. If the Chargers were going to win, he got to make that play. I, of course, love the fact that he didn't, but I'm going to bring it up because most people are not.
Joey Bosa should have been in the game, by the way. That should have been him deflecting that ball.
He got benched.
But for whatever reason, look, we'll talk about Brandon Staley later, but if Joey Bosa should have been in the game at that moment, he definitely would have caught that ball.
But don't you? Well, you don't know that.
I don't.
They also play different positions.
And here's the other thing. I will actually say this. I respected Brandon Staley for benching Joey Bosa. No, seriously. Like at some point, he's hurting the team.
No.
His lack of control is hurting the team. And put him back out on that field, he sniffs the quarterback. They may throw a penalty flag on him after whatever happened with him and the ref.
That ain't new what he did. That ain't the first time he did that. I guarantee you inside those walls, he behaved like this before. There's no way this is the first time he done lashed out like this.
Right, but come on, Browner. It's the game. It's a playoff game, and he's got two 15-yard penalties.
If you're the coach, you need to win, bro. I'm gonna address this with him later. I need him on the field. Period. You can throw all the tandems you want. Get the quarterback, bro. Get him. I need you now. We talk about this later. I need you. I ain't got the whole principle of things, bro. That's out the window. You had principle was at 27-0. It's 30 to 28 now. Principle gone. Okay, we need players on the field now. This is where
That's not the way it works in that program, Browner. That's not the way it works in that program.
Listen, like I told y'all, I'm new
in that program.
I'm new to this.
In that program, it's about keeping your cool and being a professional.
Nah, bro.
You can't be throwing tantrums like a little child as a
bro.
captain.
Listen.
In that program, in Brandon Staley's program.
Hey, look, we got a lot to get to today, guys. We have got a ton to get to. So if you're just getting with us, for those of us that are members of the Charger Hater Club, by the way, it seemed like everybody on social media this weekend, especially after the Chargers blew it, seemed like everybody wanted one of those Charger Hater Club
That
shirts.
video didn't help either.
What didn't help?
That video didn't help either.
Oh, the video of the receipts?
Yeah.
I told you that last week. That was the dumbest thing they could have ever done. I love that everybody wanted a Charger Hater Club shirt, though. People were buying them long sleeve, hoodies, T-shirts. Hey, you want to celebrate the Charger loss? You get those Charger Hater gear on our website, kaplanandcrew.com. All right, Alex has got so much for us to go back and review from one of the all-time great postseason epic fails. The Chargers are up 27-0 and lose to the Jaguars. It's our lead story. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. We're just getting going, great friends.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Only on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
When someone you know has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, things can progress very quickly, making them feel hopeless. But it doesn't have to be like this.
See, Mom, this place is going to be great for you. They're going to help you breathe better.
Pulmonary rehabilitation at La Mesa Rehab focuses on patient education and training. We use special therapies to improve your lungs, clear out mucus, and keep you out of the hospital. Pulmonary Rehab is Medicare approved. Call now to see if you qualify or ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab today.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray Lampert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
Surf Soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. 2, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
People often ask, when should I call a lawyer after a car crash? If you're injured, then you should call 911 and seek medical attention right away. Then, assuming the crash wasn't your fault, you should call a lawyer as soon as it's safe to do so. There are several reasons why. First, it ensures that your legal rights are being protected while you focus on your health. Second, getting an investigation started immediately can be vitally important, since the physical evidence at the crash scene, surveillance video, or witnesses may not be around for long. Third, unfortunately, insurance companies may not have your best interests in mind and may try to take advantage of the situation knowing that you are not yet represented. They may try to take recorded statements or make lowball offers. Put it this way, calling a lawyer is free. The cost of not doing so could be quite expensive.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
Most people never expect to get into a crash or trip over a hazard and fall, and they certainly don't expect that it could lead to life-altering injuries. Most of us assume it's just an ache. It'll go away. I'll be fine. And luckily, usually they are right. But unfortunately, some injuries aren't obvious, and the adrenaline of the incident may mask the seriousness of your condition. Plus, when the injury is due to someone else's negligence, then you will have to prove that your injuries are from that incident and not something else. So not only is it important for your health to get checked out to rule out that anything is serious or even potentially life-threatening, it's also important to document your injuries as closely to the event as possible in a medical record. Otherwise, the insurance company will try to use that gap in treatment as proof that your injury is not related to the incident.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health.
I'm Erica Cardenas on the Next Your Health. We're talking about ways to jumpstart a healthy life. One thing you should do in the new year to get your health on track, and a campaign giving hope to those struggling with mental health.
Watch Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com.
On the next Su Vida, does a new year mean new you?
No, resolutions are just too difficult, too much work. How about this? How about we just be healthier? And that begins with a visit to Valle del Sol, an organization that's working to build healthy communities.
Or maybe it's time to tweak the diet. Vegans Baby is making it easy and delicious.
And the Central Arizona Project is inspiring us all to hit the trail.
Our New Year's resolution is no resolution on the next
Su Vida.
Okay, so...
This is the #1 advice I give to my friends and family. Get the most uninsured motorist, UIM, underinsured motorist coverage that you can. Here's what happens all the time. After a car crash, you have a ton of medical bills, you're out of work, and don't know what the long-term effects of what your injuries will be. Then you find out that the driver who caused the car crash only has $15,000 in insurance. and you say, good thing I'm fully insured. You have good liability, collision, med pay, but only $15,000 in UM/UIM. In that scenario, you and your family are not covered by your insurance at all, and you will be limited to only $15,000 in defendants available coverage. The premiums for UM and UIM are not expensive, so do yourself a favor, check what your UM/UIM policy amounts are, and make sure at a minimum they're the same as your liability coverage.
What do you want, Anthony?
I'm in town for a big presentation that's due after the end of the year. My computer got damaged.
What about the backup?
It was in our luggage and it got lost.
On New Year's? I thought you needed me, but apparently you're doing fine, so I...
Would crying have been any better?
Always the charmer.
Jess, I'm sorry about what happened.
It's midnight. Happy New Year's, my friends.
Yeah, super romantic.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on YourView, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. and visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
Drivers are getting in accidents at a rate we've never seen before, jumping 18% since 2020. There are higher incidents of speeding and more aggressive driving since the pandemic began. Please slow down and drive safely. It can save a life.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those with all types of lung disease and long COVID symptoms.
Surf Soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. Two, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
At the Barnes firm, we're seeing more pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Drivers are rolling through red lights, and distracted driving makes every intersection a danger zone for pedestrians. Look both ways when crossing, even if you have the right of way.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends. We welcome you back to the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. This is Kaplan and Crew on the radio on 1090. on television on Channel 4 San Diego, on our YouTube channel where you can get involved in our YouTube chat. It's live. It's happening right now, so get involved, and on all the different audio podcast platforms. So, guys, did you know, I wasn't sure of this. Did you hear that the Charger game on Saturday, one of the most epic failures in the history of the NFL's postseason, a 27-0 lead evaporates on the last play, and the Chargers wind up losing the game 31-20. What was the final score?
31-30.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that's immaterial for right now. Oh, and by the way, just so you know, if you're listening today and you're like, Scott, what is wrong with you? You just sound like a mess today. I'm putting in an excuse early, everybody. Ridiculous travel this weekend. Crazy travel. Left on Saturday from San Diego at 12:30 in the afternoon to fly to Minneapolis. Landed last night at LAX at 12:30 in all the rain. Had to stop over in Denver and had to take a car service home. I got home at about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm putting in my excuse now for being a half-ass mofo today. You guys going to buy that excuse from me today, or you're not going to buy that?
I'll buy it.
Yeah.
At least you got to watch like a good game. I guess they were all pretty good games now I think about it, except the Niners Seahawks.
That Niners Seahawks game.
The first half was surprising, but I think you got to watch like a well-played good game. If that makes sense.
Coached game by one side.
I got to see a really good offensive game. I mean, Minnesota against the Giants was a really good game offensively. Not a great game defensively, but a really good game for offenses.
Can I just say this before we continue with the Charger talk? Because we have to, because I got to get a lot of this out of my system. Brian Daboll and the Giants, that's the best team I saw all weekend. I know you, Scott, you probably didn't get a chance to watch a lot of games full from beginning to end because, your red zone's going. You probably don't know what to do. But
yeah,
I tell you, man, Brian Daboll, he might be on to something because that works.
I think that Daniel Jones is way better than we ever knew in the first part of his career because of the coaches and how they were trying to use him.
That's fair.
I think Brian Daboll thinks of Daniel Jones as being like a Josh Allen type that can run and doesn't have like the strongest arm necessarily, but he's pretty accurate. He doesn't have superstar wide receivers, but he's got guys that are serviceable. And yeah, I think the Giants are better than I know. I didn't really know what they were going in. So anyway, let's get back to the Chargers here for a second, because let's really go through what happened on Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
Did you know this though, Alex? Did you know that the game was played on Saturday, which apparently was, and I'd have to go back and really make sure and check the date. Saturday was the 6-year anniversary of the Chargers making their official announcement that they were moving to LA. So
I think that was
January. Okay, well, somewhere in that neighborhood, right? I mean, like it was like 6 years almost to the day that the Chargers announced we are leaving for LA.
Yeah.
So 6 years later, and I know a lot of people hit me up and they're like, bro, it's been 6 years. They moved. They live in LA now. They moved on. Get over it. Anybody who says get over it doesn't understand what was really going on back then. And many of you say to me, it's not the player's fault. That's who I root for. Fine. Do whatever you want to do. I don't care. But don't be coming at me like, get over it. Your kids must be so proud that you're such a hater. Get lost, loser.
No way.
Get out of here,
That's
moron.
you?
Yeah, like, because everybody wants to try and guilt you. You know what I mean? Hey, guys, I got news for you. It's a football game, and it's a football team. And I take it a little more personally because I know what that family did to this city. And you can say to me all day long, don't you blame the politicians? Don't you blame the mayor? Yes, of course I do. Of course I do. But I'm telling you right now, if they wanted to stay, there was a path to stay. They didn't want to stay. And I was too naive back then to really understand what was going on. And I should have listened to LaDainian Tomlinson when he came on the air with us. And I said, LT, what are we going to do to try and help save the team? He goes, forget it. It's over. We're like, and this is a year in advance of them announcing that they're moving. So for everybody that comes at me, get over it. You're like a scorned ex-lover. You can't leave her alone. She's gone on to a new guy. Bro, I will, and I'm the don't hate, celebrate guy. I will hate on this team till the very end. And guess what? They'll never, ever, ever win anything so long as that family owns that franchise. That I can tell you. What do you think about that?
I mean, the whole get over it thing, like we've been over it. When's the last time we said we want the Chargers back? I think if anything, LA did the city a favor. Like the heartbreak after. I'm just talking about football. I mean, you talk about economical and all this other crap. Sure, I'm just talking about the football, the pain that the Chargers caused Charger fans. Now it's split. Now whatever that percentage is, whatever. If you're still a Charger fan, you're still experiencing the heartbreak. But how many millions of people that are no longer Charger fans are now happy at the end of every year?
No, see,
literally, like what I'm saying is like I'm not. when the Chargers,
I know what you're saying.
Of course, you were upset, but no one is not over it. Like we're over it. We've decided as a show we cover the team, but we cover it as a very, very brutally honest, non-local, non-kiss ass type of show. And those Charger fans don't like to hear the inevitable truth that is the end of every Charger season.
I disagree with you from this point. The fact that they are gone, we are missing. Like the pain that only I am feeling, the joy that you two are going through. That's the beauty of sport. And so therefore, these memories that the three of us would be sharing as opposed to just me would be shared throughout the community. And so therefore, it would be a community mourning. It would be sad for everyone.
But now it's like half of us are celebrating.
Right.
So
I mean,
like
I honestly, I received so much pleasure watching them lose. In fact, I honestly think I received more pleasure than I did when they won. Like when I was a Charger fan and they won, I was happy. When they lost, I was upset. But now to see them lose the way they did, I'm way happier than any win. Like if I compared it to when the Chargers beat the Colts at Qualcomm Stadium, a night where LaDainian Tomlinson got hurt and Darren Sproles had to come in and take over for LT and scored the game-winning touchdown. I think it was in overtime. And I remember walking off the field with LaDainian Tomlinson, interviewing him on radio about what Sproles had just done. And so that night, that win, I was happy, but I'm 10 times happier in watching them get annihilated, humiliated, have the whole country ridicule them. I'm much happier now than I was then.
Yeah, and like you say, that's the beauty of sports, Browner. The beauty of sports is also, like, I had both feelings this weekend. I was ecstatic Saturday night, and I was just like bummed out yesterday at 4:30. Like it's just that is the beauty of sport. When the team that I actually root for loses in the playoffs, just because the other team was simply just better than them, you're like, it sucks.
Well,
but
hey, listen.
I know this.
Yeah.
The Vikings may never win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. That might be true. But I know that pretty much in that lifetime, the Chargers will give me that pleasure of them losing in some horrific, embarrassing, hilarious way at the end of every year.
But Browner, I will agree with you on this. When I was in Minnesota yesterday and they're doing all the pregame introductions, I actually shot videos to show Alex. I'm like, this is what we as a city are missing. We no longer have a team. We no longer have a playoff game. We no longer have these presentations of who these players are larger than life. We no longer have kids in the stands wearing chains, doing some dance. We no longer have that in our community. And so without it, I just root for their failure, and to be up 27-0 and look like everything is snowballing and avalanching on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Trevor Lawrence looks lost and nothing is going Jacksonville's way because the Charger interceptions, I mean, that first one, tip ball, intercepted, great field position and score on the next play. And the interceptions happened so fast that you just didn't think that the Jaguars could ever slow things down and recover. But they didn't have to do that by themselves. They had the Chargers on the other side. And both offensively and defensively, the Chargers were going to help. Whether it was a lack of scoring on offense, a lack of control on defense, missed kicks on special teams. I mean, dropped interceptions after getting 4. I mean, I knew it was going to happen.
Trevor Lawrence gifted them 14 points. 2 plays, 18 yards, 3 plays, 16 yards, 2 drives that the Chargers got touchdowns for. And I know there's a lot to get to, and this is maybe not part of it, but you know, what is it? And brought this up before, and Browner jumped all over me. What is it about the apologies and the sorrow and feeling bad for Justin Herbert? Why is Justin Herbert blameless in what happened yesterday? But when Matt Ryan loses 28-3, it's only Matt Ryan's fault. We all name another player on the Falcons that year. Name one. I saw tweets yesterday like Justin Herbert deserves better. He got 5 turnovers from his defense. It was 27-0, and he got you 3 points in the second half. He led a field goal drive in the second half. All I'm saying is we do this for every quarterback in the NFL. Every quarterback. They get the blame. Kirk Cousins gets the blame for throwing a check down on 4th and 8 last night. Nobody else. Why are we all of a sudden, why is it like we have to make excuses for Justin Herbert? The Jaguars gifted him a playoff victory, his first of his career. They gifted it to him, and he didn't do a single thing in the second half. He's not blameless. He's not the only one to blame, but he's definitely not blameless here. 3 points in the second half.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. Marty Schottenheimer used to say it all the time. The team that wins the turnover battle wins the game 80% of the time. 80%. So it's overwhelming. Now there's 20% built in. That was the Chargers. They were the exception to the rule. 5-0 winning the turnover battle. 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions, and then the fumble on the punt. Yeah. The first team in NFL playoff history to be +5 in the giveaway takeaway and lose. That is not football. That is beyond football.
I'll give you this about what happened with Justin Herbert. Trevor Lawrence is better.
Ooh.
Now listen, I'm gonna be very fair. I'm gonna be very fair about what I'm about to say. I love Justin Herbert. This is not a secret. You cannot get outplayed like that by Trevor Lawrence. You can't. You can't. That's the moment when it gets 28 to 30. You have to find a way to score. You had the ball, man. I love Justin Herbert. I love his skill set. I love his leadership. You failed. He failed. Trevor Lawrence is better. Not better that day. Trevor Lawrence is better because Trevor Lawrence found a way to win when you basically had lapped him 5 times. Like you were doing 27-0. All you needed was another touchdown. One. And this guy can throw from every angle. He can run. He's got great weapons. Austin Eckler, I don't know where he went, but you have every position. You got a guy who can get the job done. And you failed. Period.
It was 30-28. It was 30-28. The Chargers were winning. And I know exactly what you're talking about, Browner, because this is the drive that I was like, I will talk about this drive because this is unacceptable if you're going to be considered a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. You need to kill time at least. Kill some time. 30-28. The Chargers get the ball with the lead. 5 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the game. They go 3 and out. They go 3 and out. The Jaguars get the ball back with 3 minutes and 20. So they only killed 2 minutes.
What were
they
the
didn't
plays?
move the ball at all.
Just remind us because I don't remember.
1st and 10, sack.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2nd and 17, check down to Austin Eckler for 4 yards. 3rd and 13, another pass to a running back for 8 yards. They punt on 4th and 5 from their own 30. And then the rest, obviously, the Jaguars' final drive. Doug Peterson with going for it on 4th down when he could have kicked a field goal, 50-something.
And by the way, going for it on 4th down. So what did everybody think they were going to do? Everybody obviously assumed that they were going to do a quarterback sneak because Lawrence is a big, strong kid, right? And now with the running backs pushing from behind, you're going to pick up that amount of yardage. Everybody stacks the line of scrimmage under the assumption that Jacksonville's about to just try and jam it down their throats with Trevor Lawrence. What do? If you don't know who Doug Peterson is, if you're Brandon Staley, you're like, hey, hold on, timeout. Wait, hold on. Remember in the Super Bowl when he did that Philly special thing? He breaks out a bag of tricks.
Plays Madden.
Right. We got to be prepared for something creative, not something obvious. 25-yard pickup on a 4th and 1 to put him in field goal
And
position.
that's one of those plays, too. If it doesn't work, Doug Peterson gets crucified.
Yeah.
But it worked. So he looks brilliant. Because earlier in the game, Trevor Lawrence, which I don't know why more quarterbacks don't do this for sneaks, it was a 4th and 1, and he just goes like this, and he gets a first down. He puts the ball out forward, gets the first down, brings it back. So you kind of assume like, oh, that might happen again. But he runs this crazy play. Etienne, of course, gets 25 yards, which basically sets up a chip shot.
Well, show us the difference, Alex, for everybody that's watching, and for those of you that are listening, we'll walk you through it. Show us the first half quarterback comparison versus the second half quarterback comparison. Because Browner, very proud of you today, man.
Not good, man.
The admission that Lawrence is now considered better. Lawrence is in his second year. He's got a playoff win. Herbert's in his third year, finally made it to the postseason and had this epic collapse. Alex, take us through these first half stats.
Still love him. I still love him.
I understand. But and by
the way,
whole,
I'm not trying to poop on Herbert like he's not good. I just think that it's a weird thing that's happening for him, especially online.
Listen. Justin Herbert deserves better. I've told you that from the beginning. He'll never win if he's with this team. All he has to do is look at Phillip Rivers, look at Dan Fouts. I mean, look at the guys who come before him who were Hall of Fame caliber guys. Fouts is a Hall of Famer. Rivers is probably like in the conversation. Point being, these guys deserved better. They could never get it done. So why is Justin Herbert going to do it? Oh, he's so much better. His arm angle, his athleticism, his arm strength. Listen, you can change the city. You can change the colors of the uniforms. You can change the quarterback. You can change the coach. You can change the GM. You can change if you don't change the owners, nothing's ever going to change. You put us up in the first half, Alex, where Herbert and the chart. Go ahead, just real quick through these numbers.
Yeah, well, Lawrence obviously 10 of 24, 77 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions.
Brutal.
Justin Herbert, pretty good. 27 points for the team, 15 of 23, 133 yards and a touchdown. That's the first half.
Okay, that's the first half.
Second half. Lawrence, 18 of 23, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, 28 points. Herbert, 3 points, 10 of 20, 140 yards.
No touchdowns.
No touchdowns, no interceptions.
So
the loss is everybody's fault, by the way. But the most of this loss goes on the shoulders of Brandon Staley. A lot of it goes to Justin Herbert because he's the quarterback. He's the guy who's supposed to be making the plays. He's supposed to be the top 5 guy. Patrick Mahomes will make those plays. I think Josh Allen will make those plays.
Trevor Lawrence.
This guy's got to. Trevor Lawrence did make those plays.
So
yes,
you did.
Trevor Lawrence
has proven
did make those plays. So you're correct. I can't push back on that. But the defense, this guy's the defensive coach, and these guys who he has on defense, these are no-name guys. Like these are high level, some Hall of Fame potential level guys. How did this happen? Like they had nothing. They had no points. How did this, from a defensive coach, how did you stand on the sidelines and watch them pick you apart like this and have no plan?
Let me play you a video.
Okay.
Because I was curious. What does Brandon Staley think? Why did they lose this game?
Okay.
And he blamed everybody but him.
Okay.
God. Here you go.
We just didn't play clean enough football in the second half in all 3 phases. We didn't score the ball or possess it well enough on defense. We had far too many penalties in the second half that really hurt us and didn't play well enough in the red area. Didn't perform well there in 2 minutes at the end of the game and, just didn't play a good second half of football. I think defensively just penalties really hurt our team. Penalty that allows them to go for 2. Unsportsmanlike penalty that goes for 2. So I thought penalties hurt us in the second half on defense, and on offense we just, did not sustain drives in the second half, and didn't run the football effectively enough, and then didn't do well enough on third down. Just didn't have enough success at the line of scrimmage, and not enough, yards after contact, and just didn't play a good second half of football in any phase. And I don't think we tackled as well in the second half. I don't think we played clean enough football. I didn't think we made enough winning plays in the second half where everyone's performing their assignment, doing it with the right technique, with the right type of energy. I just think there was a lot of little things in the second half that added up to a big result there.
All right.
How can you bring this man back?
Wait.
How can you bring this man back?
All right. Good question. And that's where we're going to go next. Brandon Staley.
I just love that, dude.
So do I. And I could listen to it all day long. We'll get Browner. We're coming.
I edited that, by the way. That was his post-game press conference. I just pulled everybody that he blamed.
We will get into how do they bring him back. We'll get to that coming up in just 1 second. Before we do, hey, I just want to throw out a shout out to our people from Penske San Diego, PenskeSanDiego.com. If you're looking for a new car right now, or you want to buy, you want to lease, here's what you do. Go to PenskeSanDiego.com. It'll expedite the process. Alex told us a story about going to Acura of Escondido, one of the 12 dealerships around town. And he actually had the cars that he was interested in waiting for him so that by the time he got there, cars were sitting out front. Hey, here's A, B, and C. Let's go test drive them. Make things faster, make things easier by using PenskeSanDiego.com. And I think you're going to be really, really happy. 12 dealerships, 9 brands, and over 1,000 cars in San Diego County right now. You'll see them all on PenskeSanDiego.com. All right, here's the question. How can the Chargers bring Brandon Staley back if they do? There is an answer. We'll get to it next from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build. Our team starts by modeling your project in 3D based on your lifestyle goals and budget, making adjustments along the way simple and accurate.
We're always motivated to strive for excellence. There's kind of not another way to be.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly. Visit MurrayLampert.com. Our family, your home.
When you're in pain, you need physical therapy that works, but you want to feel safe during these times. At La Mesa Rehab, your health is our business. We screen each patient, provide masks, and constantly sanitize our private individual treatment areas so you can focus on healing. The foundation of our physical therapy is education. Our therapists care and guide you through the healing process. Ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab.
The best care you can have at La Mesa Rehab.
When doors open for kids, they change lives. For over 75 years, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater San Diego has been opening its doors to provide a safe place for kids whenever they are out of school. A place with caring mentors and opportunities to focus on academic success, healthy lifestyles, and character building. At the club, we do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid that walks through our doors by inspiring, empowering, and changing lives.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit MurrayLampert.com.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
Hey, great friends, it's Scott Kaplan here, and I want you to come check out our new TV show. It's called Kaplan and Crew Tonight, every Monday through Friday at 7 o'clock right here. Now, look, it's the best of the radio show from earlier that day on the mightier 1090, and we've been doing it for 20 years, so now we're expanding the way we talk about sports and the way we can be heard and viewed.
Kaplan and Crew Tonight. Be a part of the crew. Weeknights from 7 to 8 p.m. on Your View.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Does a new year mean new you? Stick around because...
How about no? That's too much pressure. Then we get discouraged and then we quit. How about we just be healthier?
I'm good with that. So no resolution is our resolution.
Bingo.
Today on
Su Vida.
Okay, so like how much healthier?
Like a lot healthier. I'm gonna say let's